The Carphone Warehouse in Scarborough's Brunswick shopping center is bustling with customers. It's Friday afternoon, and around a dozen shoppers are crowded around brightly lit displays that show off the latest Apple and Samsung smartphones, while two shop assistants struggle to keep up at the tills. This is where Jamie Jamieson, who lives in the seaside resort, first tested a system which he claims can defeat identity fraud. "14 years ago, Jamie, 69, began using his thumbprint to verify his identity. He added a note to his credit file stating that any application for a financial deal in his name must not be accepted unless it has his thumbprint on it. Initially, staff in the Scarborough Carphone Warehouse were perplexed when he insisted on putting his thumbprint on his new phone contract. But Jamie, who for 25 years worked for spy agency GCHQ, explained that an imposter would have almost no way to replicate it. Insisting on a thumbprint meant, if he did fall victim to identity fraud, he could easily hold the company responsible for any money drained from his account. So could this simple security method stop thousands of people a year falling victim to crooks? I'm not saying this can completely solve all fraud, but at least I can prove very quickly that it wasn't me applying for credit, Jamie says. This is easy to do, and I think people should know about it. Identity fraud, where someone assumes your identity to apply for a loan, open a bank account, or even a fake passport in your name, hit a record 89,000 reported cases in the first half of 2017, up 5% on the year before, according to figures by CIFAS, Britain's leading fraud prevention service. Typically, fraudsters need only a few pieces of information, such as your name, date of birth and address, to steal your identity. Often, victims have no idea they have been impersonated until they get an unexpected bill, or invoices for accounts they haven't opened, or items they didn't order. Crucially, it can have a detrimental effect on your credit record, making it difficult to get loans, credit cards, or even a mortgage. It can take months to remove the black marks from your file. Jamie got the idea of using his thumbprint to verify his identity from a scheme piloted by shops in Inverness in Scotland in the early 2000s, in the days before chip and pin. When paying by card or check, shoppers were asked to leave a fingerprint on a sales slip or the back of the check. When he knows he is going to be taking out a financial product, he takes with him a small ink pad. But for it to work, he had to ask the major credit reference agencies to add something called a notice of correction to his credit file. This is a short statement of up to 200 words which is typically used to explain why you may have had a missed payment, so the lender can take this into account when they assess your application. Jamie used this space to demand that companies reject any application for credit in his name unless it has his thumbprint. If you have a notice of correction on your file, it will flash up to the lender every time you apply for credit. So if a fraudster successfully applied for a credit card in his name, Jamie could hold the lender responsible. And if the con artist left a thumbprint, the police would have a solid lead to track down the culprit. James Jones, of credit report agency Experian, says, if you've already been a victim of fraud or you've lost your purse and are worried about your identity being stolen, then it could be a sensible idea to use a thumbprint or to require a password when you are applying for credit. But if not, then it is a bit like cycling uphill with a stick in your spokes. Your application will be much slower than it would otherwise be. Jamie says that he's never had any problems with the system and applications are usually approved almost instantly. A date of birth and postcode can be enough for a crook to cause havoc. While you should also never talk to a cold caller. Con artists often pretend to be from your bank or the police in order to glean information from you over the phone, so just hang up. If you're worried, call back your bank or the police on a different line. It is also a good idea to use different passwords for all your online accounts and ensure they don't contain personal information such as your date of birth or your address. And be particularly careful about what information you share over the internet on social media. Never post your address, telephone number or banking details. Fraudsters often check these sites.